Odell Beckham Jr. is one of the most polarizing professional athletes of all time. He had the entire world in a chokehold at one point. I mean, even people who never watched football knew about OBJ. Every kid on the planet wanted to have a signature blonde look and wanted to make one-handed catches just like him. So how good was Prime Odell Beckham Jr.? Odell Beckham Jr. was born in Baton Rouge to the parents of Odell Beckham Sr. and Heather Norman. He was definitely blessed with great genetics. His parents were accomplished athletes back in their time. Odell Beckham Jr. is the eldest of 3 children. He had a younger brother Cordell and a sister Jasmine. His father Odell Beckham Sr. was a running back during his high school years at Marshall High School. His mother Heather is also an alumnus of Louisiana State University, where she was a renowned track runner. She ran in national championships topping indoor and outdoor events. She eventually became a coach of the track and field team of Nicholas State University. His parents' close association with sports and the athletic riots in their house compelled young Odell Beckham to take up a career in sports. Odell Beckham Jr. has mentioned that as a kid he was quite athletic, and his parents brought him up in a very sporty manner, and that's precisely where he gets his thunderous self-confidence from. Odell attended Isidore Newman High School. He started playing football during his junior year, raking in huge numbers as a junior and as a senior, making touchdowns, catching passes, and accumulating yards all over. He was listed in the 2011 Times-Picayune Blue Chip Road and also Louisiana State's All-State First Team, which included this year's Offensive MVP, among many others. American football was not the only sport Odell was good at. He played basketball, participated in running, and jumping as well. He even went on to win silver in the Newman Invitational 2010 edition, with his all-time jump of 6.83 meters. He also played soccer, and is a huge fan of soccer legend David Beckham. He got his chance to try out soccer with the junior national team program, where he declined in order to participate in other sports, since that was going to take him away and restrict him to only playing soccer for the most part. According to ESPN, Beckham was a 3-star recruit. He had offers from LSU, Miami, Mississippi State, Nebraska, Tulane, and Ole Miss. His parents were former Tigers, so he already knew where he wanted to go. Odell Beckham Jr. chose the LSU Tigers. Being a freshman at Louisiana State University in 2011, Odell participated as a starter for 9 out of 14 games. His debut game was in September against the Oregon Ducks. His first touchdown was against the West Virginia Mountaineers with a 52-yard reception from teammate Jared Lee. In his freshman season, he was able to get into All-SEC selection for freshmen, scoring 41 receptions and 2 touchdowns. The opening game was good for him as he had over 100 yards against the Towson Tigers. The season finished with him being the team leader for receiving yards and then second for receptions. During his junior year in 2013, he blended with Jarvis Landry to be one of the best wide receiver pairs in college football. Early September in the game against UAB, Odell Beckham had 5 receptions spanning with 136 yards with 3 touchdowns. He got his career high receiving yards of 179 yards with 2 touchdowns in the game against Mississippi State. He garnered some awards that season that included him being in the All-SEC first and second team, and won the 2013 edition of the Paul Hunter Award for the most versatile player in college football. He then decided to forfeit his senior year and opted for the 2014 NFL Draft. Odell Beckham Jr. was picked by the New York Giants as his 12th overall pick in the first round of the 2014 NFL Draft. He picked up a hamstring injury before the season started, which led him to miss most parts of the training camp and also the first 4 games of the season, but he was able to make his debut in October in a game against the Atlanta Falcons, where he scored a touchdown and had over 4 receptions and over 44 yards. His stats and numbers continued to rise as the season went on. During November 23rd, he made a spectacular catch with one hand while falling backwards for a touchdown. It went on to be named Catch of the Year. The jersey he wore for that catch was put on display in the game against the Dallas Cowboys by the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Odell Beckham Jr. finished November creating an NFL rookie record for a month while breaking 2 rookie records for 5 straight games with more than 90 yards receiving in a single season, and even extended the record to 6 games. By December 14th, Odell Beckham became the first NFL newbie to make at least 12 catches and over 140 yards and 3 touchdowns. Beckham went ahead to smash a whole lot of NFL rookie records and set a lot more. He also garnered awards like the Offensive Rookie of the Year and was picked to be the cover athlete of Madden 16, in which he was the youngest player ever to do so. He finished the season with 91 receptions and 1,300 yards along with 12 touchdowns. In 2015, Beckham continued his star-studded gameplays, having over 100 receiving yards in 6 straight games and had a season high of 166 yards in a single game. The season didn't come without some aggression hurdles. He conceded 4 penalties with 3 being personal fouls. He was suspended by the NFL authorities for a game without wages, but went ahead to secure career high numbers and was named in the Pro Bowl for the 2nd consecutive year. Odell was known to be very passionate about football and had some issues controlling it. Josh Norman, who played for the Carolina Panthers, took advantage of that. Odell seemed to lose control a lot, was very emotional at times, but that didn't stop him from being great. He ended the season with 96 receptions for 1,400 yards and 13 touchdowns, which was an improvement from last year. 2016 was another great year for Beckham, even as it came with huge fines for misbehaving. He helped his team return to the playoffs and got selected to the Pro Bowl for the 3rd consecutive year, and and was 8th on the NFL's top 100 players list. He ended the season with 101 receptions, 1,300 yards, and 10 touchdowns. He was widely regarded as a top receiver in the NFL at this point, and was well on his way to becoming a future Hall of Famer. In 2017, he started the season with an ankle injury that caused him to miss the first week. He got to return in the second week in a loss against the Detroit Lions, picking up another injury during week 5. A fractured left ankle that had to be surgically operated for repair, which kept him off the pitch for the rest of the season. After the summer break in August 2018, Beckham signed a 5-year contract extension worth $95 million, and $41 million was guaranteed. His first game after the injury was a loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars. This season wasn't as great as his previous season, but he was still able to keep his numbers very high. He still finished the season with 77 receptions and 1,000 yards, along with 6 touchdowns. Despite all the success he had with the Giants, he was becoming a huge distraction for the organization, which led him to be traded to the Cleveland Browns. From here on out, Odell was never the same electrifying player we all knew and loved. The Browns acquired Beckham and defensive end Olivier Vernon in exchange for right guard Kevin Zeitler, safety Jabril Peppers, Cleveland's 2019 first-round pick, and a 2019 third-round pick. Odell's tenure with the Browns was very disappointing. He only topped 1,000 yards once in the 3 years he played for them. He was never able to stay healthy and had a bad chemistry with Baker Mayfield. He eventually told his team he wanted to be released, and his wish was granted. Then the Los Angeles Rams signed Odell Beckham to a 1-year deal. No one really knew what they were getting with Odell, but he ended up blowing everyone's expectations away. And if he didn't tear his ACL, there was no doubt in my mind he would have been the Super Bowl MVP. After a short stint with the Rams, he was signed by the Baltimore Ravens, who signed to a 1-year deal worth $18 million. He hasn't really been doing anything with them due to injuries, but he still can be a solid piece for them. Odell Beckham Jr. was special during his prime. He was a guy that brought so much attention to the NFL at one point, whether it was good or bad, but you cannot deny that he had one of the best feats we see in NFL history. It's sad that injuries has derailed his career, because he was on pace to be a future Hall of Famer.